So I'm going to share my experience going to my first men's circles event. This is a event where you, as men, get together and in a circle talk about your feelings, talk about things that are going on in your life, sharing different things about yourself, doing different exercises, and um, it was a really interesting event, and it was also really interesting to see yourself reflected in everybody else. It was interesting to see how similar everybody is in the dark aspects of who we are and what we think, what we feel, the similarities in what we think and how we feel. Most of the people were older men, and hearing some of their stories, hearing how they've grown, what changes they've done in their life, and also seeing how people, many of these men have decided to become more accountable for all the things they've done. It was really cool to see. I can't share any details of what happened, but I can say that people shared things that are very authentic to them, and in doing so, it created a space and environment that is so rarely seen today, because people, men especially, have walls to expressing and to communicating with each other on these types of topics. So, because the wall was down, it allowed people to speak up and express themselves authentically. Overall, it was great to see everyone's experiences. This is my first time I've been to one of these men's circles. It follows Jungian archetypes. This is the whole idea of the king, magician, lover, warrior type of archetypes. And so those were integral parts to focusing on those sort of masculine archetypes of character, of self. And I think that added to the interpretation, and it added to the type of like ritualistic almost process of the men's circle. Starting off with looking at these sort of archetypes and having a little pre-ritual and a little ending ritual, just things like that, which you don't really have in society, but perhaps you had in society thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years ago, or at least in tribes. So I think that was really added to the event, and I think it's an important aspect of what men traditionally did as far as a practice, a ritual, something to go back on, something concrete, something to anchor you to a specific emotional, specific energy. Now, what would be a downside of going to these events? I gave it some thought, and the thing which came out to me would be that I feel like it could be easy to get stuck in your growth, because you may become very identified with what you are saying, what you are communicating, and whilst people in the group are keeping you accountable, which is fantastic to get to a certain point, you may still be lost in the story. You may still be identified with all these aspects of you. And in doing so, you can't let go of what you want to let go of, because now it has become a part of you. Now it has become something you talk about, revisit, reinforce, discuss with others, hear their stories, and now it's becoming more real to you. Part of the letting go method, part of a lot of the spiritual journey is disidentifying with those aspects you call yourself. You think is you. So disidentifying with the fear, disidentifying with all these negative emotions. And I think at the event, because we talked about our feelings, which isn't a bad thing, because there wasn't that framework of letting go, there wasn't that framework of disidentification. I could argue that for certain people, it could even be reinforced. It could be reinforcing aspects of patterns, whilst aiding them, helping them in other parts, which may lead to long-term growth in some areas, but other areas, long-term stagnation. So that would be my main thing to watch out for. As well as that, there's a lot of energy that's being released by everybody in the group. And if you are very energetically sensitive, you're going to feel that, you're going to pick up on it, and it may negatively impact you. So, leaving the event, do I feel heavier or lighter? I actually feel heavier. And the reason I feel heavier is because I was feeling very good today, and the event actually had more of a darker frequency to it, because the event was based on the people at the event, the energy and the emotions they carried. And so if you are feeling a high vibe, your vibe's going to be brought down to the vibe that the other people, the collective, is feeling. Similarly, if you are feeling very low and you go to an event like this, you might start to feel good because you are expressing, you're releasing, and you are increasing your vibe to the level of the group, to the collective consciousness of the group, and therefore feeling better. So those are my two caveats for spiritual people to think about and watch out for. If you've been to a men's circle or have any thoughts on this, let me know down below. Catch you later.